Colorado Bureau of Investigation says that in the Jefferson County, where Colorado Christian University is at, in Jefferson County, and of course that's, I don't want to scare you because that's a large area, just wanted to, make a connection there. In that area, 52 people in the last 4 years have registered as sex offenders. In my part of town where I live, 80 people have registered as sex offenders. Obviously, with this many people as registering as sex offenders and thousands more in Colorado, we are doing something wrong. Maybe it's just that we don't know what the sex offender is all about, particularly the pedophile. Certainly it is because, as God says in Matthew 2:16, we don't have the fear of God anymore. We don't have the fear of God anymore. So I'm hoping by the end of this talk that you will have some idea of what the pedophile is in particular, and the predator in general, and that as a parent in particular, or somebody that's responsible for a child, that you will know some of the things that you can do. Some of the things that are tips given by pedophiles themselves. First of all, I think that we should examine some of the reasons that we're enabling these pedophiles. I heard of a document written by an R. Blanchard in, I want to say 2010, and this was on diagnosis of pedophilia. And Mr. Blanchard said that pedophiles could not be cured. What else is new, huh? Pedophiles could not be cured, but this was their sexual orientation. Being a pedophile was their sexual orientation. I think that when we say that it's somebody's sexual orientation, we're saying they were born that way, they can't do anything about it. Just like we say, even though God tells us that in Romans 1 that we shouldn't be laying man with man and woman with woman, and he gave us up to a reprobate mind, even though he says that, we say that homosexuals have a sexual orientation. So this seems to be the catchword of the day. So anyway, a pedophile does not have a sexual orientation. They were not born that way, in my opinion. Jesus wouldn't have said in Matthew 18:6 that we should not harm a child, or it would be better that we were drowned. Obviously, God does not create, if God feels that way about a child, then God would not create us with a sexual orientation so that we can harm a child only so that we should be drowned. That doesn't make sense to me. Who is the predator? Who do they prey on? They prey on pubescent little girls. 96%, let me go back. 1 out of 7 of the sexual assaults, and this ought to make you sick, 1 out of 7 of the sexual assaults that are reported are on children under 6 years old. This just makes me want to cry. 6 years old. Can you imagine anybody having sex with a 6-year-old? I can't believe it. 96% of the children under 12-year-olds who were raped, 96% of those children were people who knew their attacker. It was either a grandfather, father, a stepfather. 97% of 97% of people who are pedophiles are men, and this is according to the Pedophile Investigative Unit. Counter Pedophile Investigative Unit, according to their website, that 97% are men. We have another group giving excuses to or for the pedophiles' actions. And that's the American Psychiatric Association. You would think that they would just be adamant against pedophiles and what they're doing. You would think they'd just, that would be it. In fact, about 4 years ago or so, they came out and they said a person is diagnosed as a pedophile when A, they have an urge for children, for sex with children, and B, when it causes them great distress. That would seem to be obvious, at least the first one. But then they came out 2 years later, or a few years later, and they said, actually, we think a pedophile is somebody who just has great distress out of this. Other than that, they're a normal pedophile. Do you have any idea what a normal pedophile is? I know, I sure don't. So, some but not all of the pedophiles admit that they have an improper urge, that this desire for children is not normal, and they ask for help. I'm not sure how successful that is because I understand that pedophiles have been tried again from the Counter Pedophile Investigative Unit. I understood that the majority of treatments do not work. So then the question would be, what if pedophiles admit that they have a problem and that they need help and so on, what can a parent do? Well, some of the pedophiles say a few things like this. They say that one of the mistakes that parents make, that they're naive. They say that they think that the person that's going to molest their child is a stranger. They're looking outside of that area of people that they know. But like I said earlier, this is 20% is relatives. So we have to use our judgment better. Another thing that parents can do is that they cannot have their children, and I know plenty of people who do, not have their children babysit by a man. I think you're just asking for somebody, especially like a child who is just coming into adolescence. I think you're just asking to cause problems for them. Albeit I don't think they're normal, but I think that that's oftentimes worse for them than, say, it might be an older person. Although, because statistics on the Counter Pedophile site say that pedophilia oftentimes starts in adolescence. So there's things that you can do as a parent. These people don't have to get to your children. So I encourage you, let's start investigating more what we have been doing wrong as far as dealing with these sexual predators. And let's start getting proactive. Let's start getting proactive about protecting our children, about keeping these people away from them, about making sure that they have longer sentences than 3 years. And let's keep our children safe.